California. And a skill that I'm good at is multitasking.
Hey everyone, I'm Disha. I'm a sophomore. I'm majoring in MIS. I was born in Santa Clara and raised in Hyderabad. And I don't know, I guess one skill I have is organizing, like physically organizing things, like cleaning my room or just organizing my schedule, things like that.
Hi everyone, I'm Kayla. I'm a sophomore civil engineering major from Houston, Texas, and a skill I'm good at is problem solving. Okay, now it's time for the resume workshop thing. So basically, you're gonna go through the steps on how to build like a pretty good resume. So this is like kind of a step-by-step guide to building one. You should include your name. That's gonna be like I don't think it's the biggest, but like one of the biggest fonts on your page, and it's gonna be emphasized the most. You're also gonna want to add your contact info. Don't add every single form of like contact. Like if you have a home phone, a mobile phone, all of that stuff, a work phone, don't add all three. Just add like the ones that they can access you the fastest. You're gonna want to add your experience, so like your volunteering service, work experience, all of that stuff. And then whenever you do describe those, you're gonna want to make it very brief. I'd say don't go over a sentence, because it's just to like describe it very briefly. And then once you start talking to the person who you're giving your resume to, then you can like add more, but very brief, don't make it long. And yeah, describe what you did. And like if you were working, describe what you did. If it was like a volunteering service, describe what you did there, how you help people or whatever. If you were like a leader for like your club, describe your position, all that stuff. Consider your audience, and talk about like your experience depending on the person you're talking to. So like, kind of find something similar between y'all two so you can create a more better conversation, I guess. And then feedback. Whenever you're done with your resume, make sure to get it checked with someone. Like it can be us, another upperclassman, faculty, professors, and the Career Center. Amazing, because they're great. I would say to go to a lot of the resume workshops throughout the quarter. I got most of my help from a lot of the students at different clubs, because they had like several workshops, and they like the different input I got to like make my resume, not that my resume is good, like great, but like it looks a lot better than what it started at. Okay. So here are resumes, do's and don'ts. You're gonna want to emphasize your name, be consistent, so don't go too crazy with the fonts and everything. Make sure like it looks neat. Include action verbs and make it easy to read. You're not gonna want to add fluff phrases and like be too fancy with the wording and everything. Don't be too basic, but don't try to like sound crazy, Don't use the word I. And don't use a lot of color. Like if you're gonna add color, maybe it's to bold a phrase or something, but like even then I wouldn't say to add color. It's just preferably to do black, because it just doesn't look professional. And don't go over one page. I know we mentioned this at our LinkedIn workshop, but you do not want to go over one page. So whatever you do, you have to try to make it fit on one page. You got to reorganize and switch it up every now and then, but make sure it fits in a page. Like I said, don't go get too creative, go crazy with the fonts, don't go crazy with the colors, just nice and neat, and include your address. Don't include your address. Don't include. Okay. So here is an example. We have mine and Kathryn's resumes. Oh.
Sorry, can you see it?
I was like, what happened? Okay. So I don't know. Can we zoom in? don't know. Can
What's
you?
happening?
I don't know. Sorry, y'all. We're having a bit of technical difficulties. Okay.
Let me see.
Sorry, this is not professional.
Good.
Okay. Can you zoom in?
Is it not showing the slides?
It's showing it, but can you zoom in or no?
Oh no,
If you can, it's fine.
no.
If y'all can't see, then I can send it to y'all. But if you look, like, squint your eyes, you can kind of see what we have. So you can tell our names are emphasized the most. And then I have my location, not my address, just my location, because whenever I was looking for an internship, I wanted one back home, and I'm from Texas, so I feel like that would have been easier. And they always brought that up too, to see if like what I felt most comfortable with. And then I have my phone number and like my email, so my contact info is all right under my name. And then I go with education. Before um I like finished my first year, I had my high school education, but because I didn't have like any other form, so I think you can include that if you want. But right now I have Santa Clara, and then under that I have my work experience. I put engineering aide, orientation leader, and then file clerk, and then I just put the date whenever I had held like that job, and a brief description right under, and then extracurricular activities right under that. So I have all the clubs I'm in. And then for the first one, ship, I hold my position. I hold a position. So I'm publicity director for that club, and I put that. But if for the all of the other ones, I just put like a basic member one, and then describe what position I hold. And then for the other clubs, I just describe the club, my volunteer service, date, and then what I did. And then at the very bottom, I have all the skills that I hold, and that's pretty much it. I I changed it up a lot. It took me forever to try to make this fit on the page, but I finally did it. And then Kathryn can talk about hers.
Yes, so as I mentioned in the chat, when you go into breakout rooms within the next couple of minutes, you'll be able to like see our resumes better. Like we'll share a screen. But on the right, I actually took this format from someone in Women in Business, and I just like put in my own information. So for me, I have like, I guess, a little summary or a description at the top, just showing like, I guess, a little bit of personality. This isn't necessary, but it's something that some college students do feel like is important to put. And then I also have education. So I make sure I put my Bachelor of Science in Finance, the year I'm expected to graduate, and your GPA is recommended if it's over a 3.0. And then any involvements and relevant coursework also went in there. And for professional experience, I put my involvements on campus, any previous job I've had, anything that showed leadership. And then I put achievements. So just some awards that I've gotten or anything that I've been proud of. And then I ended it off with skills. So my skills, I have a mix of hard skills and soft skills, but hard skills are kind of recommended for some.
So something you can use if you haven't really started your resume or you need to update it is VMOC, which is a tool that SCU provides. Your college, the one you use for applying to college, that resume is very different from the one you're going to be updating throughout your college years. Just because you can't include all of the things that you've done in school, it depends on, you know, the kind of experience you receive. So we're going to be using VMOC, which is a tool provided by the Career Center that helps you make your resume from scratch. You can just input things on a pre-made template, and it'll help you kind of judge the overall, I don't know, professional, like how professional your resume is. It tells you how long your sentences should be, whether you should add numbers, things like that. It is a little bit annoying. There are pros and cons to VMOC, just because sometimes it gives you too much feedback and it doesn't make sense all the time. But you can use it for certain things. Like me, for example, I use it to kind of make a new resume. I just use the template and kind of some of the suggestions to use, but we'll be working on that soon. So VMOC is what we're going to be using if you haven't made your resume, which like not your college one, just your work resume. Wait, is this screen black only for me?
What's happening?
Wait, can you see the screen or no? Oh, is it like glitching?
No,
No, it's black.
it's black.
I think her laptop is a
Okay.
little slow.
Yeah.
But okay, we can continue in the meantime. So we're just gonna be going in breakout rooms. The first breakout room will be for people who, want to start your resume from scratch. You'll be using VMOC again. I'll be in breakout room 1. I'll help guide you through VMOC and kind of get you started on it. And then breakout room 2 will be for people who already have a resume and they just want feedback and help updating it, which Kathryn will be there and Kayla will be there in both just to kind of help out or whichever one she feels like. But yeah, so choose your breakout rooms accordingly.
Yes, keep it to 1 page just because you are high school students. So it's not like you could have really so much to talk about in the grand scheme of your career. So just keep it to 1 page in general. Include your high school achievements for now, as you'll saw with mine or other people's. Like it's pretty normal to still have your high school achievements. You're only first years if you are first years, and then transfers whatever experience you have. And then yeah, just update it as you go. So again, you could include your coursework, projects, classes, volunteer work, anything of that is relevant. As you can see, like the words around, it's just different types of headings that you might want to choose that aren't exactly like what we showed. And you might have more projects, for example, you might have more awards that you might want to add. And then education must always be at the top. That's always has to be the first heading with Santa Clara University. Your high school is not necessary, but Santa Clara University should be there. And then again, reverse date chronological order. So the most recent stuff at the top. And then as it goes down, like it gets older. And then maintain your format. So as you saw, make sure like if your titles are bolded and everything, it stays bolded. Your dates are always going to be on the right, or however you want to organize it. Just make sure it's consistent, especially because there's a lot of, I guess, tools where like companies will like discard resumes if something's like weird or anything. So just make sure it's like kind of consistent. For skills, maybe include more hard skills just because it's easy for them to quantify that. But if your soft skills are important, you can more than like you can add this as well. Again, and then make your bullet points quantifiable. Don't state the obvious. It might be hard, but like sometimes like it's kind of obvious, like when you know you're doing customer service, so kind of explain a little bit more. And then yes, you could have more than 1 resume. Like for example, if you want a finance job or you want an internship and then you want a separate job that's like a marketing internship, you might gear your stuff a little bit different. One's more about numbers and another one might be more about like Canva skills or something else. Like you could have different resumes for different jobs you're applying to. Just please make sure to label them like on your file on your computer because you don't want to send the wrong resume to the wrong employer. And then again, you can change around the sections to whatever fits you, as I mentioned. And then for those of you who are on VMOC, VMOC is a really good resource, but it doesn't mean it's 100% correct. So you don't have to get the best resume score on there. It's really good to get you started and see like the quick stuff, but you don't have to attempt a perfect score. If you think yours is good enough, just make an appointment with the Career Center and they'll let you know how you are. Yes, next. Okay, so interview prep. Now we're gonna get onto like our last little section on like how to ace your next interview and then maybe stuff about the career fair. So the interview here is just like a little overview of what we're gonna be talking about. So a game plan, maybe prepare what you're gonna say, what to do right before that interview, what's gonna happen during that interview, and then what you should do maybe after. So game plan. So first, you should definitely research on what the company is. Maybe if you know who your employer is, do a quick LinkedIn search. So again, make sure your LinkedIn is updated because they can see if you stalk them. So maybe it's kind of make sure your LinkedIn is pretty good. But do some research on the company, maybe see like 1 or 2 important facts, or maybe like if you're looking for a business, see their stats and maybe you can talk about something like they'll know you're interested. Again, ask questions at the end of your interview. If they say if you have any questions, you better at least have 1 or 2, because if you say, oh no, I'm okay, like it's going to show you're not interested and you don't care. So please have any sorts of questions prepared for them. Like, where do you see me? How am I going to improve in the company? What value do you think I can add? Anything like that is really, really important and they'll value that. and practice and rehearse again. This can be done looking in the mirror, looking through a camera, and making sure your camera works, or it can be done by applying to random jobs you don't care about and actually just practice the interview process. So when you get to the interview that actually matters, you already aced it because you've had so much practice beforehand.
Okay. I wanted to do this slide for certain reasons, but so before your interview, you're gonna want to dress professionally. Don't go in a top that you go to wear to a party or whatever. For SAU jobs, you don't have to come in like a full suit, but definitely wear something kind of casual, professional. Like I went in a jeans and a blazer, which still looks pretty presentable. Just don't go in shorts or anything. This applies to everyone. And be on time. I have a tendency to be late, so I was just roaming around there for half an hour just so that I'm on time. So be on time, be there 10 minutes before at least, sit outside and start to calm yourself down. Deep breaths, music, whatever you need. Eat some food if you want, drink some water, but just be there 10 minutes before. You don't want to be late at all. It's not a good impression. I'm telling you, it'll freak you out even more. So just be on time, roam around there a little bit, just to make sure you're on time. Don't be late at all.
Okay, you made it to the interview. So now that you're actually talking to them, you have to make sure you have a firm handshake. First thing you do is that they're going to come out there, they're going to get you, and they're going to say, hi, like, we're happy you're here, or something, good to meet you. And they're going to want to shake your hand. If you have a sloppy handshake, they're not going to want to hire you. You have to have you got to have a firm handshake and make sure it's strong, but like, you don't want to break the arm off. So like a good firm one, not too strong, not too soft. Be respectful. Make sure you have manners. Don't like talk over them. Don't like sit all weird. Make sure you have good posture, good manners, all of that. Like show them that you were raised right. Make sure you have a copy of your resume. This isn't like a necessity, but it makes you look more professional, in my opinion. If you have a copy of your resume, just in case they don't have it up, you can just be like, oh, here it is, I'm prepared. Be confident, but don't be cocky. Obviously, you're gonna want to show them that you're right for the job, but like, don't be like, oh, I'm amazing at this, or like, I know how to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And like, it's like not cool, so don't do that. Like we said earlier, make sure to ask them questions. It shows that you're interested. It shows that you did your research. It shows that you do want the job. Like Disha said, if you know the answer, you still got to ask. Like, just ask them. Even if it's just one question, ask them a question. But then, yeah, don't be nervous. It's going to be fun. You're going to be fine. You're going to ace the interview. Just calm your nerves. If you're a little too nervous, like if you have anxiety, I get it, but try to calm that before you go in, because then you don't sound like you're prepared for it. Obviously, it's okay to be nervous, but like, don't let it show so much. And then post game, this is what I recommend everyone does after an interview. You're going to want to follow up with an email, like a little thank you letter email saying like, thank you for the opportunity. I uploaded a little sample one that y'all can look at, but yeah, it just shows that like you're grateful for the opportunity and you really want it. And like, the more you bug them, and the more they're going to like remember your name, and they're going to want to like, they're like gonna want you, because it shows that you do care about the job, so send a follow-up email.
So for the career fair, I believe it's coming on the 20, oh my, I cannot remember the date, 20 something, I think maybe 29th of September. Registration for that opens on Handshake on September 9th, so even before school starts, and you'll get emails about this, so with the right date and everything. The career fair for the fall is going to be virtual, so I decided to maybe put some tips on how to do that, because I've been to some of them. So first of all, make sure your background is plain and bright. So this would not be a good background. None of us have an appropriate background, actually. Like it has to be at least bright, maybe a white screen, so they can see your face again, because like that's normally the first thing you notice when like you're on Zoom with someone. And then have your resume easily accessible. Have it like on the doc. Make sure like you can easily attach it to an email or attach it however. Have your cameras on. Oh my God, there were so many people in the career fair I went to who did not even have their cameras on. I'm like, you care about this job, so you might as well have your camera on. Like, again, as we can see, there's people with their cameras on here. That already shows that you care about your career and it's really important. So it's really good practice. So good job. And then looking down here, if I'm looking down here, you can't see my eyes, but I'm looking at my screen. You have to like make sure you're looking up. So tips that I've gotten from my professors, literally put a sticky note right before your career fair being like, look up. So like it shows at least some sort of eye contact. Again, you're just trying to play a game here. So like they kind of remember you. And of course, have any questions ready for the company. All the previous steps of like researching, all of that still applies. So your career fair, again, you're not guaranteed a job after it. After all, most of you are first years, but again, it's all for practice and experience, because if you keep on attending this one company's career fair up until your junior year, they're going to remember you, and that shows a lot. And then Kayla will talk about the in-person stuff.
Yay, I think we're gonna have more in-person ones this year, so go to them. They're fun. So what I would recommend doing is that they're gonna post like the companies that are gonna be at the fair beforehand. So once they post that, I recommend looking at some of the ones you're most interested in. Like I'd say maybe at least 5, I guess. I feel like that's a good number. And looking them up, finding out like what they do, and just like for me, what I did is I found a few projects that the companies I wanted to talk to did, and like I talked about that, and then they're like, "Oh, you built that building? You know, I've been in there," or something like that. But just find a common interest and like start talking about that, and that helps build up a conversation. Dress professionally, since it is in person, they're gonna see you like your full body. So obviously, like Disha said, you don't have to wear a pantsuit, but like dress professionally, not just workout clothes. Um, what I recommend doing is, since you are gonna do the research, bring your notes with you. And not only that, but just bring paper, pen, and then copies of your resume to give out to each company that's there, so that you look more professional. And they already have that resume, so you don't have to email it to them after. And then they're going to be like, oh, like, I don't remember you. If you like give it to them in person, give them a firm handshake and start talking to them, then like they'll remember you. And like talk to everyone. You should go to like, okay, go to every company. If it's like not a super big career fair, I say go to every company that's there, just so you can like get the most out of it, you know? And then whenever you do talk to them, mention your name, major, and like what you're there for, like a brief little overview. Have a firm handshake. I'm not going to get over that. You have to have a good handshake. And then just start creating small talk. And then eventually, like, if you did your research, that will lead into a better conversation. And then your body language. You do not want to have your arms crossed. You're gonna look unprofessional. Don't like look closed off and like timid and shy. Like look confident, stand up straight, be confident, like show that you want to be there. And then you're gonna do great. Good luck. It's gonna be so much fun. I love career fairs. So that's for that. And now it's Q&A time. Oh, that wasn't, sorry. Now it's Q&A time. So if you have any questions, also like I know time is gonna be up, but me and Kathryn, we can stay a little bit later. So if y'all have any questions, or if you need to go, then we can go to the next slide, right?
Yeah. If you have any questions, just type it in the chat. I know like breakout rooms already went over a couple.
Yeah. If y'all have questions, then we'll answer them at the end. But right now we're just gonna close up with like our last 2 slides, and then we can go back to the Q&A if y'all are okay with staying a little after our time. So these are the upcoming events. Disha is doing philosophy night with Edric, like right in a few, like 5 minutes. So y'all should go to that one if you're not gonna stay here. And then hot topics with Hydea and Ryan featuring Caroline today. I know that's gonna be fun. Y'all should go to that one. That's at 8:30. And then we have another event this week coming up from us 3. And it's, do you know where you're going? So we're gonna go over all of like the buildings on campus and tell you where they're at, show you on a map, and then talk a little bit about like what classes you can expect in those buildings. I know for me, I get super nervous not knowing anything. So this is going to give you like a little bit of an idea of like where you're going whenever you get to campus.
And like always, here are our socials. SEO_diaries is our Instagram. So again, if you haven't followed that, what are you doing? It's already like school's about to start. Come on. Again, our TikTok and our Instagram, we have content on there. Again, this recording of the session will be up on the YouTube in a bit, and there's also some Q&As that I filmed. And then our Discord, as always. So yeah, we'll drop our personal Instagrams as well. And then so sorry. I let the break room that I was in know, but if you want a copy of my template, please like DM me right now and I will email you my template so you could like use it. Super random, but I just realized I didn't tell breakout room. Other than that,